The sun set on another idyllic day at Camp Mystic, nestled along the Guadalupe River. Laughter and campfire songs filled the air, echoing through the cypress trees. For generations, parents trusted Mystic as a sanctuary, a place where the river was a playground, not a threat. Just days before, state inspectors had reviewed the camp's emergency protocols and given their official approval. The flood response plan was praised, detailed, thorough, and on paper, foolproof. This stamp of approval reassured everyone. The camp was prepared, the risk managed. Camp Mystic's staff, many former campers themselves, believed they understood the river's moods. The river, though beautiful, was known for sudden flash floods, a fact of life in the Texas Hill Country. Yet the sense of security was powerful, almost absolute. Parents slept soundly, confident in the camp's reputation and the state's oversight. The paperwork was filed, the boxes checked, and the belief in safety was strong. But beneath the calm, the camp's location was always a gamble with nature. The river's wildness had been tamed by tradition and trust, or so it seemed. As night fell, no one imagined the test that was coming. The stage was set for a disaster no plan could truly contain. Just after midnight, rain began, torrential, unyielding, and far beyond a typical summer storm. The river, fed by a saturated watershed, swelled with terrifying speed. Counselors on night duty saw the water creeping, then surging toward the cabins. Sirens blared, but confusion reigned. Was this a drill, or a real emergency? Sleepy campers were rushed from their bunks as water invaded the floors. The river exploded into camp, tearing cabins from foundations and submerging evacuation routes. The designated high ground became an island, cut off by the flood. The emergency plan, so clear on paper, was instantly obsolete. Counselors formed human chains, boosting children onto roofs, shouting names into the darkness. This was no orderly evacuation, just a desperate fight for survival. The plan had failed. Only courage and instinct remained. Camp Mystic's emergency plan looked perfect. Flowcharts, safe zones, and step-by-step evacuations. But it was built for a predictable flood, not the unprecedented deluge that struck. The plan assumed hours to respond. The river rose in minutes. Evacuation routes became death traps, and safe zones were quickly submerged. There was no backup for when both primary and secondary plans failed. Warning systems lagged behind the speed of the water. Real-time data was missed or misunderstood. Every minute lost was critical. The plan was designed for a slow disaster, but nature moved at lightning speed. In the end, the plan's greatest flaw was its inability to imagine the unimaginable. The disaster exposed the gap between paperwork and reality. At dawn, devastation was everywhere. Mud, debris, shattered buildings. First responders arrived to chaos, launching frantic search and rescue efforts. Miraculously, all campers survived, though many were injured and traumatized. The governor declared a disaster. Investigations began immediately. The camp's once-praised emergency plan became the focus of public outrage. Parents demanded answers. How could this happen at a place they trusted? The community, once united by tradition, was now bound by shared trauma and anger. Local residents voiced both sympathy and a grim sense of inevitability. The flood sparked a statewide debate about safety, risk, and development near volatile rivers. Calls for stricter regulations and realistic emergency planning grew louder. The Camp Mystic flood revealed a hard truth. An emergency plan is only as good as its imagination. Planning for the probable isn't enough. True safety means preparing for the worst-case scenario. Nature doesn't follow models or historical data, especially as climate change fuels more extreme events. Emergency plans must be flexible, redundant, and stress-tested for the unimaginable. Responsibility for safety can't be outsourced to paperwork or regulatory approval. Leaders must challenge assumptions, empower staff, and treat drills as serious rehearsals. The children were saved by the bravery of counselors, not by the plan. Their ordeal must drive a fundamental shift in how we approach preparedness. Safety is not a box to check, it's a sacred, ongoing responsibility.